welcome back to American Sunrise. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, looking pretty this morning. I noticed the waves. There were no waves. The sea was completely flat this morning when I woke up. It was a beautiful, calm morning. I'm Dr. Gina. Thank you for joining us. It is time now for today's health news, sponsored by the Wellness Company. And under the microscope today, a new DNA test can help screen for obesity genes and help those at risk. This new test can help predict if a child will be obese as an adult or not. This new measure is in the Journal of Natural Medicine, and it is a polygenic risk score, also known as a PGS. Now, this scores for various factors like genetics that people have to determine their risk level, and this test can be done as early as a child turns 5 years old. And it can also help start prevention measures to prevent obesity and the challenges that it can bring to the life of the child before health implications are an actuality. A new administration in Washington, D.C. has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The reality, though, there's only so much government can do if we really want to make America healthy again. It's going to start at home with each of us, and that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from their doctors all the time on this network, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company gives you the opportunity to be sure you're prepared for whatever comes your way with their series of prescription medical kits. These kits contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the use of the kits. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more. These can help you stay healthy and live a longer, more satisfying life. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part, protect the health of yourself and your family. Go to twc.health/RAV today, give it an order. That's twc.health/RAV. Use the promo code RAV. It'll save you 10%. David Brody.
10%. I missed it. 10%. I missed that for a week.
You did, yeah. I'm sure every day you woke up in your lavish vacation where you're eating as much food as you can ingest and saying, I miss Gina saying 10%.
That's right. I woke up on a Wednesday going, I just miss it. I just miss it. All right. Let's do an update now on the Los Angeles wildfire relief. Where did some of the money go exactly? There's a piece in the Free Press. That's Barry Weiss's independent organization or her website. And they're laying out how a benefit concert raised $100 million for fire victims from those deadly and destructive wildfires that raged through the Southern California area in January of this year. Of course, we know about that. But where did the money go? For more, let's bring in the president for the Alliance for IRS Accountability, and that would be Chuck Flynt. Chuck, great to have you on this morning. Curious about this because we're hearing tons of stories of residents who are affected by these wildfires, Chuck, but they haven't seen a dime of the money from these benefit endeavors. So, Chuck, what is the story here exactly? And good morning to you.
Well, good morning, and thanks for having me on. I would frame it, three ways, putting it into three buckets for the viewers. The first is that you're talking about $100 million, which makes it potentially one of the largest charity fraud scandals that we've seen in the last 50 years. Secondly, there are really two sets of victims here. Primarily, you've got the folks whose homes were burned down that were promised direct relief from Fire Aid, which is the charity that raised all the money. And then you've also got the donors who gave the money, who have potentially been defrauded. And 14 states' attorney generals have actually filed suit against Fire Aid to investigate. And thirdly, the money has been distributed to over 160 nonprofits, many of whom, it seems, have nothing to do with providing disaster relief services. Two examples quickly. One, the California Conservation Corps. They appear to train climate activists. Another one is called the California Native Vote Project, which claims that California is stolen land. And it's hard to see what nexus they have with providing disaster relief. But I bring up the fact that it's 160 plus groups because it's either a case of gross incompetence, and I say this as a former prosecutor, it's a case of gross incompetence or potentially money laundering, because the more groups that are added into this, the less likely it is that it becomes a case of unfortunate coincidences. And it looks more to be something that would reveal intent on behalf of the people that were distributing the money.
I'm going to try to overlook the irony that your last name is Flynt and we're talking about wildfires. But what is your message to those groups who are not directly helping those in need? Will heads roll? I mean, we get so tired of seeing all of this criminal behavior exposed. And no one ever seems to be punished. No one ever seems to be fired. Certainly no one ever goes to prison. I mean, if this is money laundering, that's something that's illegal. Corporate people go to prison for that all the time.
Well, the message would be the money better get to the victims. And we know that it hasn't because they're all telling us that it hasn't. And somebody who's done an incredible job about raising the visibility of this is Spencer Pratt. He obviously reality TV star. He is on social media nonstop, taking videos. He was doing a walkthrough last week, I believe, with Senator Rick Scott. You've had Congressman Kiley from California in the House. Also, they've both written actually to Attorney General Pam Bondi requesting briefings or investigations into this. And so I don't think that you're just going to see this money disappear and nobody's going to say anything. And once again, I want to couch it this way. I mean, it appears right now that it hasn't gone to where it needs to go. And one other thing I would bring up is if you go to the Fire Aid homepage on their website, it looks like a giant crisis communications page where they're just overcompensating by telling everybody, oh, the money's gone to the victims and, they've directly seen it. They use an LA Times front piece to bolster their claim. But the irony of the LA Times piece is they didn't interview any of the victims. They just went out and interviewed the people that got the money. And of course, what do you think they're going to say? Oh, sure, we gave it to the folks that needed it. So there's a lot going on here, and it's going to take a while to peel back the layers.
Well, Chuck, 30 seconds or so, but that gets right to the accountability aspect of this. Where is the accountability? Where does it stop? What mechanisms are in place? And this can't just be self-policing, clearly.
Well, it can't be. And that's a great question. So as I mentioned, you've got DOJ. Spencer Pratt actually put out on social media yesterday that he had a meeting with the IRS Criminal Investigations Division. The IRS could come in and they could simply look at these organizations, strip their tax exempt status. DOJ, like I said, they could also come in. I mean, the big thing is that the money needs to get to the victims. And so how do they get the funds that they need to go ahead and recover? That's the big question. But there are mechanisms in place. It does take time. This is a very complex web of transactions, as I've said. You've got Fire Aid, the Annenberg Foundation, and then over 160 nonprofits that this money appeared to go to, some of whom don't even operate in the area, and a lot of whom don't seem to have any ability to deal with disaster relief.
I would think this would be a hot topic of conversation in the upcoming gubernatorial race. Let's hope that helps get the word out as well. Chuck Flynt, thanks for what you're doing to expose this.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
Good to have you. Coming up, go woke, go broke. Cracker Barrel has changed its logo and lost $100 million in the process. We have details for you just ahead on American Sunrise.